Good morning, everyone. Today is December 13th, 2020, and we are going to chant Jusan this morning. Jusan will appear on the screen, so please keep watching the screen. Please join me in Gasho. Please put your palms together. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Nyorai Koso師匠せ貴読最初しめ一条苦行極節即死遠遊死後言実法称賛上言寺き順熟心経ナマンダウツナマンダウツナマンダウツナマンダウツナマンダウツナマンダウツナマンダウツナマン。Now, I would like to share Shinran Shogin's Wasan poem, so please join me in Gasho. Please put your palms together. 善導大師証をこひ、定散二心をひるがへし、貪瞋二河の譬喩をとき、弘願の信心守護せしむと。Master Shan-tao calling the Buddhists to bear witness. Let us to overturn the two minds of meditative and non-meditative practices, presenting the parable of the two rivers of greed and anger. He ensured the safeguarding of the shinjin of the universal vow. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda. So this Wasan presents the famous parable of Shan-tao, two rivers and the white path. I'm not sure if you have ever read whole parable before, but this parable is quoted in chapter on Shinjin of Kyogyo Shinsho. And this is long parable, but please allow me to share this parable because this is really great parable explaining what the Nembutsu path of Shinjin is about. And let's read the parable paragraph to paragraph. Suppose there is a traveler journeying 100,000 li toward the west, when suddenly along the way he comes upon two rivers in the single channel, one of fire extending southward and one of water extending north. Each river is 100 paces across, immeasurably deep and endless to the north and south. Dividing the fire and water is a single white path 4 or 5 inches wide. This path from the eastern bank to the western bank is 100 paces in length. Billows of water surge over the path and flames sweep up to scorch it. Water and fire thus alternate without a break. Now, the traveler has already journeyed deep into the vast and solitary wilderness. Oops, sorry, I missed that turning the page. Now, the traveler has already journeyed deep into the vast and solitary wilderness. There is no one to be seen, but bands of brigands and wild beasts lurk there, and seeing the traveler alone, they vie with each other to kill him. Fearing for his life, the traveler at once flees toward the west. When without warning the great river appears, he reflects, I can see no end to this river, either to north or south. In the middle is a white path, but it is exceedingly narrow. Although the two banks are but slightly separated, how is it possible to cross? Assuredly, this day I shall die. If I turn back, brigands and wild beasts will press closer and closer upon me. If I run north or south, beasts and poisonous insects will contend with each other to attack me. If I venture on the path westward, surely I will plunge into the two currents of water and fire. There are no words to express the terror and despair that fill him at this point. He thinks further to himself. If I turn back now, I die. If I remain here, I die. If I go forward, I die. There is no way for me to escape death. Therefore, I choose to go forth, venturing on this path. Since this path exists, it must be possible to cross the rivers. When this thought occurs to him, he suddenly hears the encouraging voice of someone on the eastern bank. O traveler, just resolve to follow this path forward. You will certainly not encounter the grief of death, but if you stay where you are, you will surely die. Further, someone on the western bank calls to him, O traveler, with mind that is single, with right-mindedness, come at once. I will protect you. Have no fear of plunging to grief in the water or fire. The traveler, having heard the exhortation on his side of the river and the call from the other, immediately acquires firm resolution in body and mind and decisively takes the path, advancing directly without entering any doubt or apprehension. When he has gone but 1 or 2 paces, the brigands on the eastern bank call out to him, O traveler, come back, that path is treacherous and permits no crossing. You are certain to meet your death. None of us addressed you thus with evil intent. The traveler hears the voices calling him, but he gives no backward glance, thinking only of the path. He advances directly forward with the mind that is single, and forthwith reaches the western side. Free forever of all afflictions, he meets his good friend, and his joy is boundless. This is the parable. And further from here, Shan-tao explains the detailed application of this parable. So if you are interested, please continue to read collected works of Shinran. But simply, the traveler is a person aspiring for birth into the Pure Land. The traveler is traveling without encountering the teaching of other power nembutsu, relying on the sensory organs of the self. And because the traveler relies on the sensory organ of the self, the traveler not realize the truth of life. And two rivers are the rivers of greed and anger. Because our greed and angers are just like raging rivers, occurring without pause, we don't really aspire to be born into the Pure Land. That is why the white path seems really narrow. But the traveler hears the two voices from eastern bank and the western bank. Eastern bank is Saha world, this world of samsara, this world of suffering, or world of birth and death. And Shakyamuni Buddha is recommending us to go this white path of shinjin and nembutsu. And western bank is the Pure Land of Amida Buddha, and Amida Buddha is calling us not to worry and come this white path. And when we entrust ourselves to the calling and begin to walk the white path of shinjin and nembutsu, although the people of meditative and non-meditative practices try to call the practitioners back, we are already walking the path which definitely lead us to the Pure Land of Amida Buddha. So this Wasan, today's Wasan, is explaining the experience of Shan-tao, asking for the witness of Buddhas, turning the meditative and non-meditative practices and entering the path of other power nembutsu. And Shan-tao explained to us how great the teaching of other power is through this wonderful parable of two rivers and the white path. And actually, this image I got from the website of Tenshinji in Chiba Prefecture. This really helps to see what the parable is explaining. You know, visual is always good to have to see what the story is telling us. And I could not share the application by Shan-tao, because if I share the application too, it takes really long time to explain about it. But reading the parable and application by Shan-tao, I just feel like I am listening to the Dharma talk of Shan-tao. And, you know, Shan-tao used this parable to share the teaching of Shinjin and Nembutsu to ordinary people in his time too. So when I read this story or this parable by Shan-tao, I always think or feel like Shan-tao is giving the Dharma message for me. And I feel really grateful, and I really appreciate this parable by Shan-tao. So if you have a chance, please read the collected works of Shinran. I forgot to put the page in the slide, but I will put it in the description section of this YouTube video. So I hope today's explanation helped to understand about this Wasan poem, and hopefully this wonderful parable helped you to see what the path of Shinjin, entrusting heart, and Nembutsu is, and what the teaching of Jodo Shinshu is. So thank you for attending. And in closing, please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda. So this will conclude today's morning service. And today's Sunday, we will have 10 a.m. service, but not on this Oregon Buddhist Temple YouTube channel, but we are going to have the joint Bodhi Day service with the other Northwest District ministers. So we are going to post the service on Northwest District Ministers Association YouTube channel. And I will put the link in the description section too. So I hope you can join us for the service. Anyway, if not, if I don't see you this 10 a.m. service, I will see you tomorrow morning. So I hope you will have a great day today and hope to see you tomorrow morning. So thank you.